In a small town nestled in the heart of the Amazon, lived Clara, a dreamy young woman who spent her days balancing the simple routine of her life with dreams of exploring the world beyond the forest. From a young age, Clara had always been insatiably curious about what lay outside her town, where towering trees and mighty rivers were her only companions. She worked at a small craft store, selling items made by local artisans. Despite the beauty surrounding her, Clara felt there was something more waiting for her. Life in the town was peaceful but monotonous. Days dragged on, and conversations revolved around the same stories and familiar faces. Clara dreamed of adventures, of visiting new places and meeting different people. She spent hours reading books about travels and distant cultures, imagining herself in faraway lands, far from the predictable routine of her town. Her desire to explore the world flowed through her like a mighty river, always waiting for the chance to break free. One day, while organizing the shelves of the store, a French tourist named Julien walked in. He was traveling through the region, enchanted by the local culture and lush nature. Julien was a tall man with light brown hair and blue eyes that sparkled with the curiosity of someone discovering a new world. Clara was instantly drawn to him. His gentle manner and French accent fascinated her. They started talking and quickly discovered they shared similar interests. Both loved nature and harbored a deep desire to explore the unknown. As days went by, Julien began visiting Clara at the store. Together, they explored the natural wonders of the Amazon, swimming in crystal-clear rivers, hiking forest trails, and getting lost in conversations about their dreams and aspirations. Their love blossomed quickly, like flowers blooming in the rainy season. Clara felt more alive than ever, dreaming of a life with Julien in a place where their ambitions could flourish. The two shared magical moments, picnics by the river, where they exchanged confidences under the warm sun, nights beneath the stars, telling stories about their lives before meeting each other, and impromptu dances to the sounds of the forest. Every day together was a new adventure, and Clara felt she had finally found someone who understood her essence. However, not everything was perfect. Clara's town had its traditions and rigid norms, and many people didn't approve of her relationship with a foreigner. Rumors began circulating around the town. Some said she was merely taking advantage of the tourists' fame, while others believed Julien wasn't the type of man who could truly commit to someone from her background. Clara felt the weight of the community's judgment pressing on her shoulders. Moreover, there was the barrier of language and cultural differences. Although Julien was learning Portuguese, he often felt frustrated by his inability to communicate perfectly with Clara's friends or fully grasp the nuances of the local culture. On the other hand, Clara worried whether he could truly adapt to life in Brazil or if he might prefer to return to his life in France. One evening, as they walked along the riverbank under a starlit sky, Clara voiced her concerns to Julien. "Are you sure you want to stay here? What if you can't adapt? What if your family doesn't accept our relationship?" she asked, tears welling up in her eyes. Julien held her hands and looked into her eyes. "Clara, I've never felt as alive as I do here with you. I don't care what people think, what matters is how we feel about each other." But even so, he knew challenges lay ahead. The situation grew even more complicated when Julien received a call from his family in France. They were worried about him traveling alone through the Amazon and wanted him to return home. The pressure mounted as he began to feel the need to make a decision. Should he return to France and follow the path expected by his family, or stay in Brazil and fight for the love he had found? Clara noticed the growing tension between them and decided to give Julien the space he needed to think through his decision. She knew she had to be strong and respect his choices, even if it meant losing the man she loved. After days of reflection, Julien decided to organize a grand farewell for all the friends he had made during his stay in the Amazon. He wanted to thank everyone for their hospitality and the incredible experiences he had had there. However, during this farewell party, he realized how deeply he loved Clara and how she had forever changed his life. Amid the celebration, Julien gave an emotional speech. "I came to this unfamiliar land as a tourist seeking adventure, but I found so much more. I found love in Clara." He looked at her with intensity in his eyes. "I want to stay here. I want to build a life with you." Clara was speechless. Tears streamed down her face as she ran to him and hugged him tightly. Their love had overcome cultural barriers and the challenges imposed by society. With the support of local friends and their shared determination, they began planning a new life together in Europe. Clara had always dreamed of leaving the heart of the Amazon and living somewhere that offered new opportunities. With Julien by her side, that vision began to take shape. Months later, they boarded a flight to France. Clara was nervous but excited. She knew she was about to embark on a new adventure with the love of her life. Upon arriving in Paris, they were greeted by stunning landscapes and a vibrant culture. Adapting to life in Europe wasn't easy for Clara at first. She missed the lush green forests of the Amazon and the familiar warmth of her hometown. The bustling streets of Paris were a far cry from the tranquil paths she used to walk back home. However, each day brought new discoveries, from learning about art in Parisian galleries to tasting traditional French cuisine. Together, they faced new challenges in Europe, learning a new language, adapting to urban life, and navigating cultural differences once again. But now they were on this journey together. Every obstacle only strengthened their love. Clara found work at a local art gallery, where she could express her creativity and share stories of the Amazon through her works. She began organizing exhibitions that highlighted Brazilian artists while celebrating French tradition. Julien continued his career as a photographer, capturing magical moments on the streets of Paris and exploring new perspectives of the City of Light through his creative lens. He also began working on photographic projects focused on environmental preservation, a cause deeply close to Clara's heart. Over time, Clara and Julien began to build a new social network composed of both French and Brazilian friends, all united by a love for art and a shared passion for travel. Together, they organized cultural events where they could share traditional Brazilian flavors while introducing their French friends to traditional dances. The couple became well known in the local community as advocates for cultural diversity, organizing exhibitions that highlighted Brazilian artists while celebrating French tradition. However, not everything was smooth sailing. Challenges still arose. From unexpected cultural adjustments to occasional misunderstandings due to language barriers, there was always something new to navigate. But each difficulty only served to bring them closer together. During one Brazilian cultural event they organized in Paris, a disagreement broke out among some guests regarding culinary traditions. Some passionately defended typical dishes while others questioned their authenticity. The momentary tensions turned into a perfect opportunity to openly discuss cultural differences. Through this experience, they learned the importance of respectful dialogue when addressing sensitive topics. Feeling professionally fulfilled and deeply happy together, Clara looked at Julien one starry night in Paris during an event they had organized. She smiled as she thought about her humble origins in the Amazon. She knew she had found not just a life partner but someone willing to face any challenge by her side. "I never thought I could be this happy," she said, holding his hand under the sparkling city lights. "Neither did I," Julien replied with a warm smile. "Life is an incredible adventure when you're with the right person." And so they continued writing their story together, two hearts united by true love, ready to face whatever came their way. Each new dawn brought fresh opportunities. Every step they took brought them closer to achieving their individual dreams. Together, they discovered that true love could overcome any geographical or cultural barrier. The future seemed bright, filled with untapped promises. Beneath that starry Parisian sky, Clara knew that no matter the challenges, they were ready to face them together, because now they had each other. As the months passed, they decided to take a trip to Brazil to visit Clara's family. It was important for her to show Julien her roots, introduce him to her closest friends, and share cherished memories of that magical place. Upon arriving in her small Amazonian town, they were warmly welcomed by her family. Joy was palpable. Everyone wanted to hear about Paris and what life there was like. Conversations flowed with laughter as they shared delicious meals prepared with fresh ingredients harvested directly from the backyard. Julien was amazed by everything. He realized how rich and vibrant Clara's culture was, full of unique colors and flavors. He made sure to document every moment through his camera lens, capturing genuine smiles and spontaneous dances during traditional celebration. However, not everything was easy during the visit. Some family members were skeptical about their relationship. There were whispers questioning whether Julien truly loved Clara or if he was merely taking advantage of an exotic experience. Clara felt anguished by the doubts cast over their love but decided to face it alongside Julien. One starry night, during an honest conversation, she said, "We need to show them who we really are." Julien agreed, and together they planned a special event where they could bring together her friends and relatives. It would be a grand Brazilian party filled with lively music and generous servings of traditional dishes. On the day of the event, everyone was nervous but hopeful. When the time came for introductions, both Clara and Julien shared heartfelt words about their feelings for each other. Julien explained how much he had learned during their time together, speaking about the mutual respect they had built through shared experiences. His words touched the hearts of everyone present, and many began to see beyond appearances. The party was an absolute success. Everyone danced until the early hours of the morning, celebrating the couple's union. Slowly, barriers started to crumble, and Clara's family began to better understand the depth of their love. At the end of the night, as fireworks lit up the Amazonian sky, Clara looked at Julien with tears of emotion. we're ready to face anything together." He smiled broadly. "Yes, no matter where we are in the world, as long as we're side by side." And so, they moved forward, now stronger than ever, having overcome obstacles imposed by society and their own insecurities. Their return to Paris brought new challenges. Both needed to balance demanding work schedules with their busy personal lives. Yet, they knew exactly how to handle it, always setting aside special time just for each other, whether exploring charming new cafes or taking romantic walks through Parisian parks. Their story continued to evolve, with new chapters unfolding every day. Together, they faced unexpected challenges but always found creative ways to solve problems. In time, they became inspiring figures in their local community, demonstrating the strength that could be found in cultural diversity united by true love. Professionally fulfilled and deeply happy together, Clara once again looked at Julien on a starry night in Paris during another cultural event they had organized. She now knew, without a doubt, no matter what challenges the future held, they would face them together, for they had found a home in each other's hearts.